By now, you should have collected very many indicators that may proxy real GDP, or not proxy, but that reasonably can relate to real GDP, the behavior of real GDP. Okay. So what I have here is, personally, I only collected 3 indicators. Again, you should have collected many more than 3. So what I have here is industrial production, the unemployment rate, and vehicle sales. And I have my Excel file with quarterly data and monthly data. Notice here, monthly data, I have the same 3 variables: industrial production, unemployment rate, and vehicle sales. So you should have the same variables in your monthly worksheet as you do in your quarterly worksheet. And again, there is a reason for that, and I'm going to say more about it after the exam. But for now, the goal is that you collect as many indicators as you can for real GDP. And then what we're going to do this week is upload this data into eViews. Okay? So I'm going to start with my quarterly data here. And this is what I do. I'm going to highlight my 3 indicators: industrial production, unemployment rate, and vehicle sales. And I'm going to copy and let me change screen here. And I'm going to paste it into eViews. Okay, so here's eViews. I'm going to open my file for quarterly data. This is my quarterly data file. And I'm going to go to command and type data. Okay, and that will open that spreadsheet that I talked about last week. I just want to make sure that I start on the first quarter of 2000. There it is, 2000 quarter 1. And I'm just going to do Control V and paste them. That's it. Just like if you were pasting into an Excel spreadsheet. So I have my 3 variables. Okay. I only have data until the 4th quarter of 2020, evidently. We still don't have data for the 1st quarter of 2021. So that looks correct. And what I do now is change the names of the variables. So series 1 will be IP for industrial production. Rename it, yes. 2 is unemployment. Rename it, yes. And 3 is vehicle sales. So I'm just going to abbreviate V sales, and you can give it any name you like. And rename it, yes. Okay. So this is what you're going to do for the indicators you collected this past week. You're going to have them in quarterly frequency and upload them like I did here into your quarterly working file for eViews. So click on the X, delete group. I said this last week. Yes, I do not want this window to remain open. And now I check my file here and I see unemployment, vehicle sales, and IP for industrial production. How do I know I pasted them correctly? Because if you look at the little yellow icon here, right next to the series, that looks like a line. And the line means it is data. It is time series. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Excel file. So here's my Excel file. I'm going to go into my monthly data. So here's monthly. And I'm going to do industrial production, unemployment, and vehicle sales. Okay. And I'm going to copy everything I have. And now I'm going to go into eViews. And I'm going to open my monthly eViews file. Here it is. And again, just go to Command, Data, and that's my spreadsheet. Control V, and there it is. Okay, and then rename them. IP for industrial production. Change the name, yes. Unemployment. Change the name, yes. And this is V sales for vehicle sales. Yes. And then again, close the group. I don't want it to be open. So by the end of this week, you should have 2 eViews files like the ones I'm showing you here. One with quarterly data where I want to see GDP and the other aggregates. And then one with monthly data with all of your monthly indicators. Evidently, as I just showed you, your indicators will also be on a quarterly frequency on this eViews file. This is what you should have at the end of the week with very many more indicators than the 3 I just did here to show you. And again, do not fall behind. If you haven't been able to access eViews, if you're having trouble identifying the data, uploading the data into eViews, contact me so we can work on it. If you fall behind, it's going to be very difficult to catch up. So again, at the end of this week, you should have something like I'm showing you here.